Yo, what's up lads? So if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that Crossbones is my favourite champion in the game. I've been playing him for a very long time, and I genuinely think that he is a top 3 skill champion. A lot of people still don't believe me on that though, so I think it's finally time to make a little guide to show Crossbones his best rotations, his best matchups, and yeah, hopefully this helps everyone use Crossbones to his full potential, and hopefully this convinces you that he is one of the best skill champions, because he is. There's a reason we call him Chad Bones. I'll quickly explain how Crossbones works. Crossbones is all about his fury buffs. Now Crossbones can't crit, but whenever Crossbones would land a critical hit, he would gain a fury buff. Whenever Crossbones shrugs a debuff, it doesn't matter if it's a damaging debuff or a non-damaging debuff, he will shrug that and convert that into a fury buff, but of course he needs his signature ability for this, preferably at 6200 for it to be reliable. And you can gain fury buffs off your SP1, 3 if you're against the hero champion, but you'll only gain 1 if you're not against the hero champion. And the last way to gain a fury buff is by dashing back and activating overrun. This will refresh all of your current fury buffs and grant you 2 fury buffs. It will grant you 3 if you're against the hero though. Each fury buff on Crossbones will grant him 20% defensive ability accuracy reduction on the opponent. It will be 25% if you're against a hero champion. So basically at 4 fury buffs against the hero, you will shut off their defensive ability by 100%. Against non-heroes it will take 5 fury buffs, and this is a very strong ability. This means you can shut off things like evade, auto block, things rock stacks, things protection, Nick Fury's tactical charges. You can shut off Photon's charges and stop from going into blue light form. Basically, any ability that would trigger when you hit the opponent, Crossbones will stop as long as you have 4 fury buffs against the hero or 5 fury buffs against a non-hero. It's one of the strongest abilities in the game. So let's see an example on how strong it actually is. Now most people know that Crossbones is the best photon counter, but a lot of people think it's because Crossbones can shrug Photon's debuffs, and that is not the case. Shrugging the debuffs will of course ramp Crossbones up faster, because whenever he shrugs one he's going to convert it into a fury buff. But the reason he's such a great photon counter is because the defensive ability accuracy reduction what Crossbones has is going to stop Photon from gaining any charges. So once you have 4 fury buffs, she will never, and I mean never, go into blue light form against Crossbones. And he's still a great photon counter unduped. Crossbones is still great unduped in general. A lot of people think Crossbones needs max sig, but he's well worth the rank up if you have a 7-star unduped. He can still counter photon. Once you have 4 fury buffs, she will still never go into blue light form against you, and 4 fury buffs unduped is very easy to get. You just go for an SP1 and activate overrun, and a 7-star Crossbones can actually be a lot stronger than a 6-star Crossbones in matchups where you don't need to shrug debuffs. The reason being is because whenever Crossbones would land a critical hit, he would gain a fury buff. So you can put the crit rating stat focus on your 7-star Crossbones, so that's just going to make it more likely that he would land a critical hit, so that makes it more likely that he would gain a fury buff. So the 7-star Crossbones can be a lot stronger, especially in non-hero matchups where it's harder to gain fury buffs. But of course Nick is a hero champion, so ideal matchup for Crossbones. The way you want to play this match is we're going to want to ramp up with SP1s in Nick's first life. Make sure we're pausing our furies with a heavy attack along the way. Activate overrun to refresh our furies just before Nick goes into his second life, and watch this. SP2 with 16 furies, that incinerator is going to tick down the entirety of Nick's second life with plenty of overkill on that. 52-second ascended Nick Fury takedown. That's better than Hulkland. That's insane. He's definitely my favourite Nick Fury counter. So let's talk about Crossbones' rotation. This is your average hero matchup. Fam has pretty average health, and Crossbones can stop the armor ups of Fam with his ability accuracy reduction. You're going to want to start off with throwing in SP1, and after you throw an SP1 you want to activate overrun. Then you want to land a heavy attack to pause. Then you're going to want to throw another SP1. You're going to want to throw another heavy attack after that to pause. and then you can go for the kill with a combo and striker. A common mistake I see when people play Crossbones is they activate Overrun at the start of the match. You definitely don't want to do that. You definitely want to activate Overrun after you've thrown your first SB1. And people use their striker too early. You definitely want to save your striker for when you have a few Fury buffs so you can get the max amount of damage out of it. This is another average hero matchup. We're going to be going for the SB2 rotation here. So we're going to want to start off the exact same way. SB1, then dash back and activate Overrun. Going to want to land a heavy to pause here, so I'm going to go for my striker. Land a pause, bait out his special attack. I can see I don't need to land another pause. My SB2 is going to kill him. So yeah, the SB2 didn't quite kill him, but the incinerates will. That is your SB2 rotation for hero champions. Now, Crossbones is actually great against Mystic champions. A lot of people think he will not work because he gains a lot of Fury buffs. But as long as you are comfortable playing Crossbones and can keep those Fury buffs paused by landing heavy attacks, he is great against Mystic champions. So the way you're going to want to play against the Sasquatch is same exact way. SB1, activate Overrun, then land a heavy to pause. You're going to want to bait an SB2 at a Sasquatch after that, and heavy counter that to pause. Gonna want to land a striker, another heavy counter to pause, bait another SB2, heavy counter to pause. Okay, now I have enough Furies to kill him, but I need him to go into Wrath so he loses all of his damage reduction. So what I'm gonna do now is just stall, make sure I'm heavying to keep my Furies paused. My Overrun has come back, so I'm gonna refresh that, so I refresh all my Furies. He went into Wrath, so now I'm gonna drop my special 3 while he's lost all of his damage reduction, and this is going to kill him. This is a rank 2 Sasquatch, but there was plenty of overkill on that. That would have killed a rank 3 Sasquatch as well. So yeah, Crossbones, great for Mystics, great for Sasquatch. Let's see how you want to play him in a match where they apply debuffs to you, but they are not a hero champion. So you're going to want to let them apply them debuffs to you, however way that is for Titania. You're going to want to block her SB1, then you're going to want to activate Overrun after that. Then you're just going to want to land heavy attacks on your way to your SB3 so you can keep your Furies paused. Going to land my special 3 now because the SB1 doesn't do much, only grants 1 Fury buff against non-hero champions. SB2 only applies 1 Incinerate as well. So against non-hero champions, it's just better to go for the SB3. It's definitely the best way to get the most damage out of Crossbones in these non-hero matchups. So against this Void, who doesn't apply a lot of debuffs to you and isn't a hero champion, the way we're going to want to play this is just land a few combos to gain a few Fury buffs. Then we're going to want to activate Overrun, land a heavy attack and work our way up to an SB3. We will get to SB3 pretty fast because once you activate Overrun, you will gain plus 50% combat power rate for 12 seconds. So you will get to SB3 very fast, and this SB3 will grant us a precision buff which will increase the chance of us critting, so that increases the chance of us gaining Fury buffs. So we're just going to want to land a heavy attack there to make sure we pause the Fury buffs and land combos, just strike into him, doing plenty of damage, landing SB1 there to finish him off, and bam. Not an ideal matchup for Crossbones, but still under a minute fight. And the way you want to play against this Rintra is, because Rintra applies the neutralize to you, you're going to want to start off with heavy attacks until you're at 1 bar of power. Then you're going to want to wait till Rintra dashes at you, intercept with a special 1. Then you're going to want to activate Overrun whilst Rintra is using his special 1. Then you can counter the special 1 with a heavy attack to pause. And the reason we're not getting neutralized anymore, say it with me, is because we have 4 Fury buffs. So we're shutting off Rintra's defensive ability accuracy by 100%. So Rintra can never apply that neutralize to me anymore. I remember doing this fight about a year ago when Rintra was one of the toughest defenders in game, and I actually got accused of mods because I think it was a rank 4 Rintra over a rank 4 Crossbones in like 46 seconds. And yeah, people were shocked, man, but Crossbones is that guy. Crossbones is that OP. Next up, we got a Spot who isn't a hero and doesn't apply a lot of debuffs to you, much like Void, but I'm using a 7-star Crossbones here, so it's way more likely we will gain Fury buffs just off our critical hits. Well, we don't land critical hits, but you know what I mean. When we would land a critical hit, we gain a Fury buff. And That's why 7-star Crossbones is so much better than 6-star Crossbones in these matchups. Just that extra crit rating makes it a lot more likely you will gain Fury buffs, and that is so nice for him. Next up we got an Iron Man Infinity War, and Crossbones is an amazing counter for him. The ability accuracy reduction is of course going to stop Iron Man from auto blocking us. It's a bit of an annoying fight because you can't parry Iron Man. Well, you can't parry his first medium attack at least, but as long as you're baiting out heavies, you can counter his heavy attack with a heavy attack, or you can re-parry to land a heavy attack. So he's still a great counter. I can see my Furies are about to drop off, so I'm just landing as many heavy attacks as I can before my overrun comes back. Then I'm going to refresh overrun to refresh all my Furies. SP2 is going to kill him off. We bypass the final 15%. Let's talk about a few matchups Crossbones doesn't work for. He is great for Mystic champions, just not Mystic champions that will punish him for having buffs like Mojo, Longshot. He's not great for Atuma because he's going to take a lot of Thorns damage off Atuma because he reduces Atuma's ability accuracy reduction, and Atuma of course reverses that. He's not great for champions with a lot of armor because that reduces Crossbones damage by quite a bit, and against Shuri it's very hard to pause against her, so he's not great for Shuri. And he's not great for Red Skull because Red Skull has a lot of critical resistance, so that just means you're not going to gain many Furies against Red Skull because you can't crit to gain Furies, and he's not a hero, so you're not going to be able to ramp up with the SB1. So there are some matches to avoid. He's not good for Maestro either of course because the glancing completely screws him over. So this Chavez, she is a hero champion, so this is an ideal matchup for Crossbones. I'm just trying to drive home the fact that Crossbones is perfectly safe to use against Mystic champions. As long as you're comfortable playing him, you can keep your Furies paused the entire match, so you will never trigger MD by losing your Furies. And he's actually faster than a lot of the OP Science champions in these Mystic matchups. Look, this SB2 is going to smoke this Chavez. Plenty of overkill on that, would have killed a rank 3 for sure. And 36-second fight, that's just as fast as Hulk. That's faster than Titania. Crossbones is just the GOAT. And next up we got a Thing, and Thing is an absolute potato to Crossbones. Crossbones shuts off Thing's rock stacks, he turns off Thing's protection, so there's literally nothing to worry about in this matchup. This is definitely the best counter to Thing, without a doubt. Oh, if you're wondering what the best relic is for Crossbones, it is 100% the Black Widow relic. What that will do is when you shut off your opponent's ability through your ability accuracy reduction, so when you stop Thing's rock stacks for example from triggering, you will gain a precision passive, and what that precision passive will do is it will increase the chance of you landing a critical hit, so that just means it will make it more likely you will gain Fury buffs. So yeah, if you have a Black Widow relic, definitely slap it on Crossbones. He doesn't need it to be good, but it definitely helps him out, especially in the matchups where he is most useful. And this is a rank 3 pig, rank 2 Crossbones, light work for Crossbones. 38-second fight, definitely could have been faster as well. And Crossbones is actually a great core counter because once you have 4 Fury buffs active, you can do medium attacks because the ability accuracy reduction will stop Korg's Thorns damage. What we're going to do here is try to play this matchup absolutely perfectly. We're going to make sure none of our Fury buffs drop off. We're going to heavy counter Korg's heavy attack. We're going to heavy counter Korg's special too. And these are equal rank champions. This is a rank 5 Crossbones versus a rank 5 Korg. So it's completely fair. Gonna land a heavy counter there just to pause my Furies. Another striker so I can land another heavy attack to pause my Furies. I'm trying to play this matchup as perfectly as I possibly can. Make sure none of my Fury buffs are falling off. I can see I have 12 Furies now, so I'm going to land my SB2, and that Incinerate is going to kill Korg off. Plenty of overkill there. And we played that matchup perfectly, under a minute, very solid. But let's say you don't want to do all that heavy countering. What we're going to do is we're going to activate Overrun at the start of the match, and we're going to play this match without doing any heavy countering. We're just going to spam SB1s, and in the Korg matchup, this is what I recommend you do. I recommend you just activate Overrun at the start of the match, and you just spam SB1s in this fight, because it's nearly as fast, and it's a lot safer. I don't recommend you do this for any other match, but for the Korg matchup, this is definitely the way to go. The reason the time difference isn't that big in this matchup is because if you don't activate overrun at the start of the match, you just gotta look for a light intercept, and that of course is going to slow you down a bit. And when you heavy counter Korg's SP2 or heavy counter his heavy attack, you're knocking him back a far away and you can't reliably parry Korg, so you're going to have to fish for an intercept. So of course that slows you down. So the time difference in playing this match perfectly and playing this match normally, I guess, is really not that big, as you can see here. So I just recommend you spam SB1s in a Korg fight, but I wouldn't recommend that for any other fight. For any other fight, I would follow the rotations I have shown in these videos. But that's going to be the end of the video, lads. I hope this helps some people. I hope I'm going to see a lot more Crossbones in a lot more people's decks after this. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you all next video.